God knows to each of us provide the strength and wisdom to perform the duties and fulfill the responsibilities required by our oaths of office. May our actions be pleasing to God and meet the expectations of the citizens we serve. Amen. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Donnie filling in for what?
We'll go ahead and call our meeting to order for August 20th, 2024. Council members, you have minutes from August 6th, 2024 before you. What's your pleasure?
A second.
There's a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is public comment. Sandy Chapman, 615 McClung Avenue. You have the floor, ma'am.
Okay, I've been sent as a delegation of one to come over and ask if the city could install lighting at the dog park. There's a lot of people, myself and my husband included, we go over and use that. And in the evenings, there's a lot of people at work that bring their dogs over, and it's kind of like not only a place to exercise your dog, but a social gathering. And there's a lot of holes in the ground, which we're not asking you to fix that. But we've started being out there till 9, sometimes 10 o'clock, and we were talking about it the other day. I went by there one evening, and at 10 o'clock there was one lady out there by herself, and pretty soon it's going to start getting dark about 5:30, and we won't be able to use that park. And for safety purposes, not only of having people that work not being able to use it, but to be able to see where the holes are. And I will tell you, I know the sign says clean up after your animals. That does happen, but it's going to be a little bit harder if you're stepping in holes that you can't see. And we've looked around. There's lots of poles around there. If we could just have a light installed so we can see and shut it off, aim it toward the track maybe where it won't bother the neighbors, or have a certain cutoff time that it would go off automatically or something. But so I got delegated to be the one to come and ask, and some of them said if it even involved a fee, that we'd see if we could kick in and help. But here I am, and the dogs want to know what you got to say.
We're glad you're here, whether you were nominated or not. We're glad
I
you're
was
here.
nominated.
Secondly, I'll say there's a process for us to go through, because that's a property that is quote unquote leased to us by CSX. So there's a process to go through for us to ask about permanent installations. They let us have the water taps and all. I can't say they would definitely do it, but we'll make the ask.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here.
Okay.
But yep, I will make the ask to CSX. That's their property.
Like I said, there's holes that you could get hurt in.
Oh yeah.
You know, and we don't want that. We enjoy it and use it.
Thanks for being here this evening. We have departmental updates, and just so the council knows, we don't have any actionable items this evening, and there was a service this afternoon that some of our employees went to, so when they left, I said, you guys can just have the evening off. Anything that you guys haven't passed along, I will certainly do that, but we'll get more into that in a few minutes. So, old business, we don't have any, neither new business, but I do have some updates of my own, just from Randy, as well as some things that have been going on in the last several weeks. I will say, police department, our public works and street department, opening day of school. Never heard a thing about Davis Creek. And our guys were over there. They had 4 officers sitting over there, and now they're of the opinion that they don't have to do that. They have someone as a resource officer, obviously, but there wasn't a blip on the radar as far as traffic goes. It actually worked out very well. I talked to Tim Hardesty too after the first day. As you all know, they bought the property adjacent to the elementary school here on the right. He's put that back on the priority list for them to have another loop of traffic to get them to start entering down here, and they're not interfering with emergency response. That 12-minute period is still our problem, and even I'll say this, Harley and Brian and a few others have alleviated that by making people drive around the block until it's time to actually pull in there's still a short period of time there. If emergency response needed to get through, it's gonna be a little difficult. Not that they couldn't handle it, but that has come back a priority for the new superintendent. We've met with he and his staff twice now, and so that hopefully will be addressed sooner than later. And I'll say this too, our resource officers, they've been so highly complimented over the last week or so too, since this has all gone on. Even before school, both of them are in the schools, talking to teachers, talking to, the administration. I can't say enough good about those guys. So that being said, it was a good first few days of school, and I don't know if you guys received any feedback. I sure did not receive anything negative, so it was good for us. Dave Buster's opened up for their first full day of business after their friends and family nights, and can't say the amount obviously because it's about revenues, but their first day set company records in Barboursville, West Virginia. It's pretty cool. So after a few years of talking to those guys, it's neat to see it come to fruition, but they're super successful. And I was talking to somebody this evening at dinner before I got here, and some of those service industry workers say, well, there's no place for us to go after work because we get off at 10. Now we can get Dave & Buster's till midnight. We get off at 10:30. We can go finish watching the game or go have dinner ourselves. So even the other service industry workers and the local business owners are not mad that they're opening because it's all obviously going to bring more people to them as well. It was a good thing for us. Dave & Buster's will be its destination, so it'll be very good for us. Fall Fest, September 18th to 21st. The Little Miss and what's the Little Mister? I guess I don't know how to say it, but they've been awarded the pageant for the teen and the queen of the festival is this Saturday. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the last council meeting, but our prior queen was she won the Miss Fairs and Festivals for the state of West Virginia. That's our second title win. So that was pretty exciting for Bev. She does a great job running our pageants and has done for so long. Chandra helps out of the office, and it's pretty exciting for them and pretty exciting for us. She has a chance to move on nationally as well. So that was their second state win since Bev's had the pageant. And it's pretty neat honor for those people who run our beauty contest and our Fall Fest Queen contest. So, all right, that is all I have. I'll go into closing comments for council members. Pat, we'll start on your end.
Well, I did attend Dave & Buster's last night. It was a good time, so definitely glad to have it as part of our community. And I think it's going to be a good thing for us in the mall and surroundings, so that's a great thing. I think there might be some confusion on the dog park location because I guess the football field, I've had some complaints about King Field being misused and not being cleaned up after. And I'm sure it's going to fall more on the school board, but if we can maybe work with them and see what we can do.
I called Carrie already.
Okay.
I got the same message.
Might need to limit some entrances and maybe post some more signs.
Yeah.
If we can assist. It's nice that the public can use that after hours, so we can maybe.
I called Carrie because I think I got the same one message at least that you did.
Okay. Yeah, good chance of it. That's all I've got.
Chris, I'd like to thank you as our mayor for representing us well and being steady on trying to get Dave & Buster here. I know that that's not something that you just make a phone call, and it's persistence and years, and because our city's known for being pretty amazing, we get some cool things. And for us to be a Dairy Queen open, it was the #1 Dairy Queen in the United States, and Dave & Buster, it says a lot about our little town. Of course, Rachel's lost her father, and that's why she's not here today. It was his funeral, so I'll send our love and prayers for them to heal from this. I was through the school line the day of the school started, and the officer that's on that side, I was like, "Happy first day of school." He was like, "Nobody's wishing me happy first day of school." But I've been in and out all different ways, and today it was. I was going kind of the Bates Creek way, and it's kind of like the soccer fields. You don't even know that there's things going on because it runs so smoothly. And of course, that's credit of the officers and the people that map this out and time it out, and the school board and Tim for being so proactive and making sure that it doesn't disrupt our city. And then thank you for talking about the dog park. Those are things that I don't have pets, so I don't think about that. But thank you for bringing that to our attention. And we'll try to do what we can, what we're allowed to do. I love it that the dog park is getting used. You know, we invest our finances in things that we think the community will want and need, and so it's nice to know that it's being used, and it's being used and not abused. So thank you very much. That's all I got.
Well, I did get a mention of the dog park lights before Sandy would said that. I thought, let's get around then.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's a good thing if we can possibly check on that.
Yeah, I'll
That'd be
call
great.
CSX to make sure they're okay with it.
She's right, there's a lot of people over there after dark, and it's gonna get dark sooner. Dave and Buster's, Jen and Heath went that first
Saw.
night, and I swear, they just came back home ranting and raving how fantastic it was, the food and
That's right.
everything, so that's wonderful. Thank you all for being here tonight, and please keep Rachel and her family in your prayers.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for being here. It's been a long time since I sat at this table. I think I'd rather speak more freely on the other end of the table. No, but I was at Dave and Buster's as well, and it was pretty impressive. You know, I was talking with the mayor earlier. He had 4 TV stations there, 4 TV stations, and 2 or 3 radio stations. It was a well-attended media event, and is really impressive. And for a 10:30 a.m. opening on a school day in the middle of the week, it was a long line, and they did really well. And I didn't get a ticket for free play, but I sure did. A couple things about that, and Nish already spoke on it, and I'm gonna speak for the mayor, and you know, there is a number of things in this town that are here because of the actions of the mayor, and I think that be remiss if you know, it wasn't mentioned. I think most people probably know it, but you know, the home rule tax, this guy right here, the difference maker in our city budget has made us, you know, had given us the ability to do a lot of things that before just weren't we couldn't do them. I know, you know, I love Mayor Termy, he's a good guy and everything, but you know, on the sanitation system upgrade, I can tell you, because I was here, I sat right here at this table on that. I mean, we had to kick the can down the road for years at a time, and here we are with was it $20 some million project, and you know, it's going on all this around. Fortunately, we don't see a lot of that because, you know, it's underground stuff, but it's the improvements that most municipalities are not going to be able to do, and we're way ahead of the game, and years ahead of the game for some, and we can all be proud of that. But not just Dave and Buster's has come to town because of the mayor's travels to these trade shows that are, you know, that's where these people are. They're looking for good places to come and set up shop and be successful and that kind of stuff. And the mayor and some of the representatives that go with him and everything have obviously done very well. And you know, I just need to put out there a little more that I make a great travel companion. But anyway, but I just want to make mention of that, and I want to thank you, Mayor, for what you've done, and you know, it's sometimes when you're in that role, you don't take credit that you deserve, but I wanted to throw that out there. Okay, so switching gears, I got a couple other quick things. It's about the couple of projects going on out the park. I noticed the road, the sidewalk project seems to have stopped, and the project with the pickleball courts seems to have stopped. I was just wondering if that was because concrete's drying, or things are ordered, or they pulled the workers off for something else, or what's going on?
A little bit of both on the pickleball project, but they're still trying to get done in the next 2 weeks in full totality. I talked with, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but there's a Barboursville Pickleball Club now, which is exciting.
Yeah.
They're gonna help us with some fundraising, windscreens, and a number of things like that they so they're offering skin in the game. But the contractors that are doing that, there was some hold up on some supply issues, but they were back out there today, working today. So they're still planning on being done in a couple weeks. We've gotten lots of compliments. Andre has made some adjustments in ordering in terms of, and I don't know the verbiage, I'm not, but it's kind of like when you're up next. So there's some things that you order for paddles. So if you're, it's like when you put your order on the pool table, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. So there's paddle holders that tell you you're up next, and then so it's like for each court. They're gonna number courts. They're gonna, and the pickleball club has said they'll help with windscreens, and they'd be interested in lighting too. And that's another thing we have to ask for due to the school being out there. But we're gonna talk to the school about that, and if we could face the lights away, maybe we could do something. But that goes back to way beyond any of us as far as what the agreement is with that Barboursville school and about intrusive lighting. And I did take a look at that, but we're gonna go talk to them about that. That was just presented the last couple weeks, but 2 weeks is what they're shooting for.
Okay.
The other thing that I'll say is I appreciate what you said, and you're welcome to sit at this table anytime you want now. But thank you. For those of you who don't know, that project with the Dave & Buster's, actually, I was telling them yesterday, I actually wrote that proclamation in 2017 just to see what it looked like. So I pulled it back up and it said 2017 on it. And that's when we started talking. It was kind of a shot in the dark at that time, and the fellow who was over development from Home Depot, when Home Depot moved into the Target Center years ago, was now the director of development for Dave & Buster's. So literally almost within the hour, I got an email back from him. He says, I know the market, we love it there, or I love it there, and we're doing smaller market concepts, and you know, let's meet in 2018 at ICSC. So we met 2 consecutive conferences, one of them spring and fall we met. 2019 we were prepared to go to some of their openings towards the end of 2019. Well, they got kind of stymied on their side of the contracts, and were not open by the end of 2019. It was Corpus Christi, Texas, and Columbia, South Carolina. And so we were going to go in spring of 2020. Well, you know how that went. COVID kind of got us all. And then out of nowhere, I get an email from him and says, hey, we're kind of back on the path of Barboursville. Can you get us in touch with this particular set of developers? I said, well, no, I can't. They've leased and sold other property. And then I called the other developer and said, obviously it's the Ferris, but I said, do you guys have a spot? And he goes, yep. And he says, I talked to your buddy, and let's get this thing done. So here we are. And yesterday I was talking to a number of people at the ribbon cutting, and I said, it's funny, or they said it's funny that you see these places in Cincinnati, Lexington, Columbus, Orlando, Nashville, and the newest concept store. If you look at their website, Dave & Buster's right now, new, in the new concept store, there are pictures taken out of our store. The bays that have shuffleboard, the bays that have guards, whatever they call it, what do they call it, Donnie? The arena, and a number of other things out of that store are there. This is their store of the future. So they modeled their next stores, and they're supposed to open 27 next year, 27 across the United States. They've modeled those stores after the one they opened right here. It's pretty cool to see it come to fruition. So it's destination, I hate to say it, it's destination dining, it's destination for all these tournaments that we have, and all of our local businesses are going to see the filter of that as well. So it's been pretty neat to see it come to fruition. One other thing I'll mention before I say last couple of things. If you guys saw the Charleston Airport thing before you left, they had a low approach of an aircraft, so they may be redirecting some flights to Tri-State. I'm not leaving. Anyone who wants to ask questions, you sure can, but I'm the vice president of Tri-State Airport. We have a conference call at 8 o'clock because they may be redirecting to Tri-State. So I'm going to jump on that conference call at 8 o'clock. So I'm not running from anyone. The last thing I'll say is to echo what everyone said about Rachel's father. You know, it's hard to deal with the loss of a parent. Parents are the best. Moms and dads are the best, and you only get one. Well, two. Get mom and dad. But it's hard to deal with that. And also, the secretary of Barboursville Elementary School for many years, and the sister of our reporter, Robin Ross, who also worked at the fire department for a while, I think, years ago. She had passed away earlier in the year, and she had such an impact on so many children at the elementary school. They all moved to Oregon a few years back. So they still had family. Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I married into the family. One of the sweetest ladies you'll ever meet. And they're doing her memorial service tomorrow from 6 to 8 at Wallace Funeral Home. So I would like to close the meeting in honor of both Rachel's father and Justin Holly's mom tonight. So if that's all we have for the order, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for coming.